Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles, and today I wanted to show you guys sort of an arrangement origami where we take one of the traditional origamis we've made before and use it for something else, kind of making it a different size and such. Today we're going to make the winnow that we made before. Now winnow is used for kind of separating the outer part of grain and stuff by kind of shaking it around, but one of the ways I think you can use it to kind of make it fun is to use it for like a table setting. You can put dried flowers, you can put acorns and pine cones and just leaves and things like that inside, or you can put little fruits or flowers and things like that too. So lots of different uses for it for sure. And this particular origami is pretty easy, so it's a fun project to do with kids if you want them to make kind of like a decoration for the season, and then have them go outside and collect pine cones. It can be kind of fun for that. So now if you just use regular old origami paper and you use a bigger piece of paper or like wrapping paper or something like that, you're going to wind up with something that's pretty flimsy. But if we reinforce it with some cardboard, then you can have a much more sturdy kind of finished piece that'll last longer, hold things that are of a little bit of weight. Certainly it's going to depend on the kind of cardboard you use. Now, I'm going to be using today some handmade paper that I have, and this handmade paper is pretty flimsy. It's got a little bit of weight though to it, but it's certainly not going to be strong enough for what we're going to be doing today. But that's the paper I'm going to be using. Now this particular paper is 30 by 30 centimeters about, give or take a little bit, and I'm going to be using that to make the finished piece. And then you do need a little bit of cardboard to put in it as reinforcement. We're going to have 3 sides here of the outer wall that we're going to use this part for, and then a smaller piece for the base. And now you can easily make all of this, measure the sides, and then cut your cardboard out, or you can use math to figure out how big you need everything to be based on your original size of your paper. You know, I'll kind of leave that up to you guys. But my square here is about 9.5 by 9.5 centimeters. My pen is dying, I'm sorry. And that's for the center. And then my outer piece is about 4.5 centimeters by, let's see here, 28.5 centimeters about, I guess it is. Is that right? 9.5 plus 9.5 plus 9.5. I think that's right. So that sort of just gives you guys an idea. Like I said, you really don't have to do the math. You can just fold it first and then kind of measure things when you're done too. So that's kind of up to you guys. I'll show you guys first how to fold the winnow as a reminder, and then show you how we came to those dimensions here when we're done. So we've got our paper here, and what you want to do is just starting off, if there's a color side, you want the color side facing down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold my paper in half into a big triangle. Once you fold it in half, go ahead and fold it in half again, and then just open along that edge to know where the center is. Then go ahead and turn it around so that that tip is pointing down now. And up along the top here, you just want to take a little bit of this and fold it down. You can choose how much of this you want to fold down. They'll change things a little bit. In my case, kind of based on the folding that I'm doing, I folded down about, I want to say it's a little about like almost 2 centimeters. Yeah, about 2 centimeters that I folded down. And then flip it over so that that part we folded down is now behind. Take this top outer edge and fold towards the center, getting a good crease and smoothing everything out as you go, and then do the same thing on this side. So you get these 2 parts here hanging down in the bottom. Take the side and fold it towards the center so you get all the way to the edge right in the middle. Make a really good crease there. And do the same thing on this side too. Take that little flap and tuck it underneath this edge that you see here, and do the same thing on this side. Then take the top part and fold straight down so that we can get a really good crease that's going to serve as the back of our winnow. Open it up. Open up these sides so that they stand up like the sides of a box. And things should pop out in the back kind of to give you that back wall. This part might kind of stick out funky. You can just kind of smooth it out with your fingers. But that gives you the finished piece of the winnow. And then you just basically measure it to kind of get an idea of the dimensions of what I have here from my cardboard that I'm using. You could start off with the bottom part here. I don't want to necessarily go out to the triangle. If you want to do that, you could. But I'm just going to put a really simple piece of square paper here so I don't run in cardboard, so I don't run into any trouble. If you're using really thick cardboard, consider that. You don't want to make your measurements too exact. You want to make it a little bit smaller so it still has room to fit and scoot in there, right? Now for the outer part, you can measure, of course, and see so that you get about to here, so that we don't have any of it sticking out and showing. You don't really want to see that. So what that winds up being is the same dimensions as our square, basically. In my case, my square is 9.5 by 9.5, and each of these parts is 9.5 as well, and this stands up about 4.5 centimeters tall. Now, the first thing you want to do is put this big piece in here in the back. And to do that, we have to actually unfold everything for just a second. I'm going to pop open these sides of where I tucked underneath. And you want to remember you're going to be getting back to this point here where you have these little parts sticking together here. Just open things up for a second. Open everything up just to this part here and go ahead and lay our paper in here. If you haven't already folded it, you can fold it now. Find where the center is and lay it down in here and kind of fold over these sides so that you can see where the edges are on the inside. Then take everything and fold back down again. Make sure this is nice and snug inside. And then we're just going to kind of let this come up. And as you pull this part up, you want to take this part, make sure it stays down to create that little flap on the side. And I'll do the same thing over here. Don't let it come in like that. We need that to stay out so that we get something like this. And then we're just going to retuck this part into that little flap on the side. And that will secure things. If you're worried about the security of this, you can glue or tape that down, of course, but it does stay pretty sturdy. So now we've got a nice reinforced back to our Winnow. And then I just take that little square piece that I cut out and slide that right in between these two parts that we have so that I can get a nice reinforced base to everything as well. And like I said, if you're worried about that, sliding out or falling out, you can put a little bit of glue on that. You don't necessarily need it for the round sides, but it gives you a much more stiffer, supported piece, even if you might be using thinner, flimsier kind of paper. So a nice way to make a basic origami a little bit stronger, and that way it can uphold things during the season if you're using it for display and you want it to last year after year. It could be a great way to kind of make things a little stronger. So and again, you could change how strong it is by the kind of cardboard you use too. I use just really thin cardboard you find like inside the shirt, a shirt when you buy a t-shirt or something. But that kind of gives you just this little finished piece, and it keeps its shape pretty good, and you don't need glue. But like I said, this can be a fun project to make a little like table setting kind of display thing if you're doing that kind of thing. Just some fun little way to do a little extra different kind of project for the fall season here. And I'll have some more fun projects for you guys to enjoy in the future. Thank you again always so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.